Hi, everyone. I'm Margaret. I'm one of the paralegals here at Tsang and Associates.
And I'm Cheyenne. I'm a current legal intern here at Tsang and Associates.
And today we're actually going to watch one of Joseph's success story videos where he's talking about an I-601A where he's talking about an I-601A waiver that I got to work on. And then Cheyenne will basically be asking me different questions. We'll give a little bit more behind the scenes and explain some maybe questions that people may have about these types of cases. All right, let's get started.
Today's success story is about a 601 waiver while having an arrest record, and how do you deal with that? So we have the entire waiver application here, and we have the request for evidence here. The case just...
Okay, so Joseph said we have the entire waiver application, and he brought up like 3 pieces of paper. So first, I wanted to show what an actual waiver looks like, which is like this. So
hold it up to your head.
It's
yes,
really, really big.
It's kind of actually a little heavy. So correction, Joseph.
800 something pages.
This was the 601A. It's an application for provisional unlawful presence waiver under the immigration law. So it's a legal pathway to get a green card. Essentially, it's what the government is saying. Removing you, deporting you, kicking you out, not granting you a green card would cause extreme hardship on our own people, our own green card holders, and our own U.S. citizens.
I was going to ask, so the standard for being able to get an approved I-601A is proving hardship to the U.S. citizen family member. What kind of areas of like hardship, how do you guys define hardship, and what areas do you guys provide evidence for?
Yeah, so for hardship, so again, it has to be extreme hardship, and then there's different types. So for example, there's emotional hardship, marital hardship, there is medical hardship, financial hardship. We also talk about each country's economic conditions and the level of like crime, for example. And really, there's no right way of doing a waiver, but our firm's kind of like strategy, I guess, is that we try to argue as many different hardships as possible because we want to increase like our clients' outcome for success or possibility of success.
Accompanying her husband to said country where her future and that of her 2 U.S. citizen children, both under the age of 11, would be severely compromised.
I will kind of say it's interesting because even though we do talk about the children, for example, the U.S. citizen children, they also want you to focus on the qualifying relative. So in this case, it's a spouse, but we did have a case where we submitted a lot of evidence talking about the extreme hardship, and the focus was a little bit more on the children, and they did issue a request for evidence saying that, you know, that's fine and all that the children are going to suffer essentially, but we want to know what is going to be the impact on the qualifying relative. So even though it's definitely good and okay to submit evidence as to how all of the immediate family members will suffer, you always have to keep the focus on the qualifying relative. Something else that I want to point out is that for the I-601A waiver specifically, at least in all of our history of working on these waivers, the request for evidence is always 30 days.
Yeah.
So it's crazy because...
very quick.
Yeah, so you basically wait for like 2 years, and then at any random point in time, you get a request for evidence, and then you have to basically drop everything and respond within 30 days. And depending on what they're asking for, I mean, sometimes it takes time to request a certain document from a certain agency. So I don't know, it's a little bit unfair in my opinion, but yeah, just gotta do what you gotta do.
That was honestly, I think, one of the most shocking things starting to work here was I understood before working here that the immigration process is very extensive in the amount of time that it takes for things to get approved.
Mm-hmm.
But what I think I didn't really have any sort of understanding of is that each stage is like that.
When we got it, we were scared to death about what was in it. And especially at this time, 2025 February, like they're digging really into the past to look at
Maybe
something.
Joseph was
And let's
scared
look
to
at there was an arrest in
like, we're good,
2010, right? 15 years ago, they found an arrest record, and they really wanted explanations. In October of 2011,
I love that he's right. Like, wait, we should have done it that way.
For not having paid a traffic ticket. I mean, like, we should have put that right at the beginning, right? The arrest was for an unpaid traffic ticket, but that's the way the sentence was read. Our client was arrested due to a misdemeanor warrant for not having paid a traffic ticket. He paid off his traffic ticket, and no further legal actions were taken against him. See Exhibit 4.
So that's Joseph basically making fun of the writing.
The criminal charges aspect is so insane. Like, to me, just learning more about what actually can become a serious red flag in someone's case, because the burden of proof is so much lower than it is in like criminal court. Like, when we're talking about immigration consequences, if you get arrested and it's a like false arrest, you get stopped on the street and now that's on your record forever, that's going to raise a red flag, even if there was no charges, even if it gets expunged, even if you were on probation for a little bit. Anything can be this big red flag and can really stop the progress of your case. Even just the idea of like good moral character, like doing background research into what kind of things can result in a finding of not good moral character for naturalization is really, really crazy.
Anyone who is saying people cross the border illegally and they get green cards so easily, they take advantage of our system, is blatantly untrue. It is so difficult to get it. And they live in such tremendous fear, and they work so hard to prove that they deserve it. With that being said,
I guess something else that I can insert is that like I also like to work on these cases because my parents are immigrants, so they have a lot of like the similar, like I can very much relate to all of these stories and I can talk about them, and it comes very easily for me because it's like what my family went through to get to this country. So it's very close to home. So I love that part.
And how does it feel like when you get that approval, when you find out that like one of these cases has gone through and gotten approved and the client's going to get their green card?
It feels really good. It's definitely really exciting to share with them. Again, at this stage, once the waiver gets approved, they still have to go through the interview. So there's still like processes, but just knowing that you were like a part of that is definitely very rewarding.
with that being said, we're very happy for the family, and we definitely had a fun time working on this case. Gabby,
Did you have a fun time?
fantastic job throughout this entire period.
It's a grueling process, but it's, again, once we get here, once it's packaged nicely, then, and once it gets approved, then the hard work paid off.
And I will say Margaret is about the most thorough and like detail-oriented person I think I've ever met in the best way possible. So,
I don't know about that. Okay, thank you.
you're like, maybe not. No, I mean, it's, even watching her review these cases is really cool.
Thank you.
And again, not quite over yet because the green card is still not in their hands, right? It's in process. So with all of that being said, this was a happy, successful story for the waiver application. If you have any questions about it, feel free to reach out. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah, so hopefully you found some of the information that we shared helpful. I wanted to bring Cheyenne in because she is new, so she has a different perspective. She has a lot of questions. She's very curious, eager to learn, also super thorough and intelligent. So, but if you have any specific questions, feel free to comment. We would love to do more videos and share more insight. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.